sure those of you that know me know I'm not someone to just run up and start a conversation with someone. I usually like to live in the background, and that's pretty evident in the kind of mission trips that I usually go on. Usually it's things like, manual labor or leading VBS for a new church plant, that kind of thing. Not being out on the front lines, going up and asking people, do you know Jesus? But the thought of doing something like that kind of scares me. But when First Baptist Starkville announced that this mission trip to Japan, I was a little hesitant to go into something like that. But I have a really deep love of the culture of Japan, and so between that and a good push from God, I decided that I would go through the trip like this. So a little about the spiritual climate of Tokyo and Japan as a whole. So first off, not even 1% of the population is Christian. And from what I can tell, it's the country with the lowest percentage of Christians that's not openly hostile to Christianity. Shintoism and Buddhism are the two major religions in Japan, but calling them religions doesn't really do it justice. It's a part of daily life in all of Japan. It's a big mix of traditions where they visit shrines to pray to gods that they don't even know. Like, the gods don't even know who they are. And they go to temples for Buddhist temples for funerals, but it all lacks a personal relationship with the Creator. In the pictures there, it may be kind of hard to see, but on the left is a Shinto shrine, on the right is a Buddhist temple. We visited a lot of these cultural sites, and just to kind of get a feel for how these people interact with their religions. A lot of Japanese people have this idea of being born into a religion. If your parents are Shinto, then you are too, by extension. We ran into a handful of these people, and they were shocked at the concept of choosing a religion. And that just kind of goes to show how deeply rooted the religion is to their culture. It's to the point where a lot of them just do Shinto and Buddhist stuff without really even thinking about what they're doing. They just do it out of habit or tradition. They go through the motions themselves. And without getting into too much detail, the average Japanese person's life feels like an endless formal job interview where you can't complain, be weird, or disagree. And this is where all that famous Japanese politeness comes from. But that comes at a cost of vast emotional emptiness. And when you combine that with a meaningless mix of religions that just seem to be built into the culture, you have a deeply broken country. So we were over there for 10 days, and we did a mix of passing out tracts and flyers for Christmas events, prayer walking, and evangelism on 2 different college campuses. And for some of the flyer distribution, we dressed up in Christmas costumes, and that definitely drew some attention. Again, out of my comfort zone, you can see me as the elf. But we passed out thousands of flyers over I think just the three instances of us passing them out. So we did a lot of work there. So one day we were prayer walking in Harajuku, and we had a kind of game going on where you'd pick some random thing about a person, specific hair color, wearing a scarf, wearing a hoodie, etc. And if you saw someone who matched your thing, you'd pray for them silently. And I chose earbuds. And let me tell you, the people in Japan love their earbuds. I didn't know that at the time, but as I was walking around, it became impossible for me to pray specifically for every single person that I came across. And that just made me realize just how common it is for these people to just have their earbuds in and be in their own little world, and to think that their own little world, less than 1% of those little worlds have God in it at all. It hit me pretty hard that day. But as sad as that is, it's encouraging to know that our relationship with God is the perfect fit for the specific Japanese brand of loneliness that their culture can create. I have no doubt that it's only a matter of time before that percentage grows into a double-digit number. And to achieve that goal, prayer and giving is key. And since we met our goal for Lottie Moon, I know you guys are doing great there. And as far as prayer requests, the missionary that we went up there with has a few specific prayer requests. He asked to be praying for the millions of Japanese that are going to temples and shrines in the beginning of the year, searching for something, that they would find Jesus in their searching, and for the team to be equipped physically and mentally to welcome new Japanese people into their lives in this new year so they can pour into them and share the gospel with them. So that's what I got. Thanks for having me.